Good morning to our viewers in Nigeria and across Africa. Welcome to the conversation on TOS TV Network. We're reaching you, as always, from Abuja. That's Nigeria's capital city. Quite a bright day in the capital today. And I'm sure Sagir, my co-host, really likes it today. All right, my name is Adesuwa.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Yes, good morning. You like it today? It's not raining
still
today.
Wet, I beg. I like it. Let it dry.
Wow, but it didn't rain. It's quite sunny.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's quite sunny. The weather's not as cold as it used to be.
Exactly. So just give it time. It gets dry with time.
Past 2 days was really wet and rainy. But you know, I was going home yesterday and I was like, wow, everywhere's getting dry.
Exactly. That's why I said I think you'd like it today.
I start falling again.
Well, I don't mind that.
I do, I beg.
Okay, let's kickstart the show with some, Tuesday morning motivation with our quote of the day. And after that, we'll be looking at stories, happenings, developments from across Africa.
My son has always dreamt of being in the spotlight. As his mother, it is my duty to help him live up to his dream. That's why I give him Born Vita every day, which contains iron, zinc, and vitamin C that supports his immunity and gives him the strength to pursue his dreams. Born Vita, strength to dream.
All right, let's get into the story, starting from, the Central African Republic, where 6 civilians have been killed in a rebel attack. That's in the northeast of Central African Republic, according to the United Nations Peacekeeping Mission. This morning at dawn, elements from the 3R, that's Return, Reclamation, Rehabilitation, launched a large-scale attack against Central African Army positions in the village of Man. The spokesperson for the UN's 12,000-strong MINUSCA mission said.
Okay, away from rebel attacks in Central African Republic to Nigeria, where the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, on Saturday, 31st of August 2021, intercepted drugs going to Italy and Turkey from the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Ikeja, Lagos. A male passenger, Egbon Osarodion, going to Milan, Italy, was arrested at the airport's Gate A departure hall during outward clearance of passengers on Egypt Airline with different quantities of 225 milligrams tramadol and rofinol concealed in foil papers wrapped in a polythene bag.
All right, still in Nigeria, this one is on a looming ASUU strike. So the president of the National Association of Nigerian Students, that's NANS, Sunday Ashefon, on Monday, that's yesterday, called on the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, to find a common ground in the interest of students in order to avert industrial action. The NANS president made the call in a statement titled, "NANS Plead with ASUU, Federal Government to find common ground to avert another industrial action."
So I want to ask you, what do you think has been the cause of the continuous strikes being experienced by Nigerian tertiary institutions?
I really wouldn't know, because basically to us, just regular people, we would say we're regular people. We will say that maybe they're asking for, I think it has to do with pay, it has to do with maybe rehabilitation, reconstruction. I don't know, whatever it is.
What about the irregular people?
I really wouldn't know. So I just think, basically, because there are always different issues coming up. Yeah. They're always, and we all know that it's been pending issues. This has been the same issues from way back. And then you talk to the union, the Polytechnic Union, they say something else. You talk to the non-academic staff union, they say something else. I say it's something else. It's always the back and forth. And I'm happy that I got to experience just one ASUU strike, even though it was quite long, but just one ASUU strike. I think it was over 3 months. Yes, just one ASUU strike, when I was in school. And then, just when the ASUU strike was was wrapping up, labor strike came up, so I ended up staying at home for like 6 months. But we have this continuous, you have people who have experienced 4, 5, you know, all of this strike, just keep going back and forth. I think it's tiring. I have a younger sister in school. She's supposed to have been done, I think, for over 2 years now. She tells me that I'm tired. I think I want to quit. I don't want to go to school anymore.
Well, it's unfortunate because for me, I think, I don't think there has been a particular batch of students in tertiary institutions that haven't been, you know, affected by strike actions. If it's not in your first year, trust me to be in the second. If it's not in the second, just be patient.
You would just experience
exactly. And if it's not in the third, I'm sorry, to be in your final year when you're, you know, geared up to graduate and all of that. But one way or the other, you're definitely going to experience a strike action here in Nigeria. It's unfortunate. You had an experience, your younger sister had an experience. My younger brother
experiences.
Has had his share of experiences of ASU strike. I have had mine. You know, mine lasted 6 months, ASU strike. You know, compounded by labor and all of that. So you begin to wonder and you begin to question, why does the government, now I'm not just talking about the current administration, but successive governments, why haven't they done something to ensure that these strike actions are brought to a permanent end?
Yes.
Such that ASU will no longer have a reason, be it, in fact, academic staff unions across board, from the universities down to even, you know, the primary education board, for example, unions in the primary school level, will no longer have a reason to rise up against the government to say, look, our welfare is poor, you know, structures, standards of education, learning equipment, they are outdated, they are bad and all of that. Why can't the government just do that, you know, once and for all? Even if it means, you know, having a public-private partnership to ensure that there's accountability and to ensure that there's sustenance. Why don't they just do that?
Yeah. I think it's just because we're always looking at, I think it's a norm here. We always look for temporary solutions to like big-term problems.
Look at this, for example. ASU has consistently complained that their welfare is poor.
Yeah.
They have also consistently complained that university structures are dilapidated, equipment are out of date. So you need to understand that at some point, now I know I'm sounding like I'm speaking for ASU, even though I've been a victim of academic strike. But then, at some point, you know, their demands change based on what they are looking for.
Yes.
Sometimes it is student-centric, sometimes it is, you know, lecturer or staff-centric. But the government needs to understand that at the end of the day, I see reason why they go on the strike. Okay, currently, I know it's because of this independent, or what do they even call it, IPPIS. That's why they are having this back and forth with the federal government. So since they said they don't want it, as workers, I mean, it's your right to determine how you want to receive your wage. And since a large majority of them are saying, we do not want this system, they should come to the table, reach a compromise, and ensure that everything is done once and for all. For the part of, what do you call it, of the academic standard and structure in place, they are right, absolutely. You don't need a rocket scientist to tell you here in Nigeria that the quality of education has been depleting and reducing and diminishing for the past 40 years. Anybody can tell you that for free. So what is the government doing, especially in a situation where we see ministries getting budgets, for example, Works and Housing getting budgets upwards of 300 billion, and the Ministry of Education is getting 34 billion, for example.
Well, the federal government did say that they'll be increasing, you know, a budget allocation, like for education sector,
by 50%.
Yes, but then subsequently they get to increase it again till they get to, I think, 100% of that.
So how do we expect 34 billion, for example, with an extra, say, if they say 50%, so 50% of 34 billion, let's say roughly 17 billion. So what we are going to be having is, give or take, 51 billion. It's still not enough.
Yes, I get you, but I think it's just a step in the right direction, really. I think so. I think we'll have to look at it from both parties.
Okay.
And we'll just have to see how this plays out. I am hoping that we do not have to see another ASU strike. I'm hoping that they get to come to, an equilibrium and just a common ground and see how we don't have to, go on another strike,
Let's watch and see.
Yeah, exactly. Let's watch and see. Okay, with that, we wrap up the Development Across Africa segment. We'll be bringing you COVID-19 update right about now. But before then, I got to tell you this. You have to do your part to ensure that you are the next person you say. I think I would not get tired of saying that COVID is real. The Delta variant, highly transmissible, spreading really fast across, countries in Africa. And we have to do our bit to ensure that, we keep safe and we keep staying safe. So just to take every necessary precaution to ensure you're not a victim of COVID, or you do not get infected, or you do not infect the next person. With that, we bring you COVID-19 update from across Africa. And after that, we'll be looking at front pages of Nigerian dailies today.
TOS TV Network mobile app is now available. You can now catch up on our breaking news, stream our programs live, watch out for the latest update on sports and politics as they unfold. You can also get notifications for our upcoming programs and events. All these on our TOS TV Network mobile app, available on Apple Store and Google Play Store. TOS TV News from Africa by Africans.
There are certain moments in the day when I need my me time to just unwind and indulge.
What is this?
The Cadbury goodness is in every pack of Cadbury 3-in-1 hot chocolate, making you feel cheerful and pleasant. Enjoy the Cadbury goodness.
You're still watching The Conversation on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. And you can be part of the conversation by connecting with us on our various social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TOS TV Network. You could also watch the conversation live on our website at www.tostvnetwork.com, as well as watch some of our content on our YouTube page at TOS TV Network. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It is the newspaper segment of the conversation this morning, and we will be starting with the Daily Trust newspaper. From the very top, we see 2023, why Nigerians should reject APC PDP, and that's by the former INEC chairman, Atairu Jega. Beside that, we see Transcorp's half-year profit leaps by 713%, Seplat nets $62 million. That could be found on page 21. Besides that, we see Mans Contractor signs MOU with Nastra for provision of mass housing, and that could be found on page 10. For the banner headline there, we see Buhari mum as APC weighs options on Buni committee. A couple of riders underneath, we see cracks widens, uncertainty prevails. Caretaker committee meets today. Chibuzo, others continue search for solution. And finally, danger ahead, lawyers warn. Underneath the picture of the day there, we see medical services crippled, patients stranded as resident doctors down tools.
Pathetic. All right, moving away from that to the Business Day newspaper, starting from the banner headline there. Companies navigate COVID-19 third wave to stay open, protect staff. That story is continued on page 30. Besides that, what's on the left, targets global banks, Kuda Bank on path to unicorn. Zenith MD drums support for $502 billion impact investing market. And the last says Seplat Energy grows half-year pre-tax profit by 142.7%.
On the Blueprint newspaper today, we see Supreme Court ruling Chibuzo APC governors move to reconcile Keyamo others. Beside that, we see customs intercept 6 containers of unprocessed timber arrest 2. Underneath that, we see FG bemoans US-EU's rejection of made in Nigeria goods. That could be found on page 22. For the banner headline there, we see after 44 years in operation, NNPC ready to declare 2020 dividend, and that's by the GMD. We have a couple of riders there. List relinquishment cost, legacy liabilities, others for oil majors divestment. Fixing nation's 4 refineries should be the ultimate, and that's by Adefolari. It's sign of efficiency in management, and that's by Idakulu. On the picture of the day there, we see members and operatives of the DSS manhandling photojournalists at the High Court. And underneath that, we see postponed eco currency. Members fear Nigeria will dominate monetary policy, and that's by Rwanda and could be found on page 22 of the Blueprint newspaper.
Looking at the front page of the Guardian newspaper, starting from the very first headline, federal government gives condition for deployment of Moderna vaccines as Nigeria gets 4 million doses. Chibuzo, APC governors, ministers seek safe options after Supreme Court ruling on caretaker chairman. No going back on indefinite strike, resident doctors vow. Federal government lists conditions for all majors divestment from upstream operations. And the banner headline on the Guardian newspaper this morning says, after $75 billion investment in 20 years, telecom service still struggling. Subscribers decry increase in drop calls, slow data operations, lack of FX, insecurity cost operators, expansion, upgrade plans. Government failed operators on power generation, sales Alton. NCC plan sanction as countries' access gaps persist. And underneath the picture of the day, federal government confirms COVID-19 third wave amidst doctor strike. Lagos records 6 COVID-19 deaths daily. Government places Lagos, Akwa Ibom, Oyo, Rivers, Kano, Plateau, FCT as high-risk states. Directs federal state hospitals to ensure service delivery is not disrupted. Don't mix AstraZeneca with Moderna vaccine, Shomolu wants. And the last headline there says, for sanity to prevail in Ladipo market. And that's an editorial on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper.
And that's it for the newspaper segment of the conversation this morning. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll bring you the big story.
You won't go shake your body. Instead, they make you calm down. Eat a farm, say you sabi. You want to grow 6 packs in a day. I beg you not to pass your power. You want to show yourself.
Whatever your size, find it with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you. Airtel, the smartphone network.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust to provide effective relief and is gentle on the stomach. Try Panadol Caplets for relief from headaches, body aches, and fever. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet gently breaks down in the stomach, quickly absorbs, and starts providing pain relief in 15 minutes. For fast and effective pain relief that you can trust, try Panadol Caplets. This has been Medifact for Panadol.
You're still watching the conversation on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. And like I always say, you can be part of the conversation by connecting with us on our various social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as on our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. And you could also watch us live via our YouTube page at TOS TV Network. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It is the big story segment of the conversation, and this morning's focus is going to be on elections in Nigeria, diaspora voting. To discuss this as well as other matters via telephone is Mr. Chibuzo Ubochi, and he is the chairman Nigerians in Diaspora organization NIDO, United Kingdom South. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning to you, and good morning to the viewers and listeners.
Yes, thank you for joining in. So, sir, I would want to ask, for decades now, remittances from Nigerians living abroad estimated, I think, around $23 billion yearly, and has had a significant increase, you know, in domestic income, social welfare, and economic development in the country. However, Nigerians in diaspora have continually brought the issue of electoral participation and inclusion forward. What do you make of this?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Yes. And I'll reconfirm that the remittances are high, and it's something that diasporans are willing to continue to do. But what is important to diasporans as we go towards the elections in 2023 is for the ability for diasporans, Nigerians in diaspora, to vote and be voted for. We cannot participate in our own country only by remittances. We don't see ourselves as complete Nigerians if we are not allowed to vote. We feel discriminated against. We feel the only thing that makes us Nigerians is that ability to vote and be voted for. A foreigner in Nigeria, let's say, for example, somebody from Ghana or somebody from Cameroon coming to Nigeria, can still live in Nigeria peacefully, can still buy land in Nigeria, can still participate and enjoy Nigeria. Same thing like us, who can still come into Nigeria, do several things in Nigeria. But the only thing that differentiates a Nigerian from other people living in Nigeria is that ability to vote and be voted for. If we cannot vote and be voted for, then it means we are not Nigerians and we feel discriminated against. So the remittances, our love for Nigeria, our patriotism, our ability to come back to Nigeria to celebrate Nigeria makes us part of Nigeria. Even the word Nigerians in diaspora, we are trying to eliminate the word diaspora. Let us be Nigerians wherever we are. So the ability to vote and be voted for is something we are advocating for, and it's something we believe the National Assembly should be able to pass, to amend the laws in order to enable INEC to take up that, to capture the diaspora's voting. We've spoken to several stakeholders. Everybody says they're in support of diaspora voting, but yet nothing is being done. So it's time for it to happen, and we look forward to engaging or continue to engage with the National Assembly to pass the enabling laws.
Okay, you mentioned INEC earlier, INEC being able to, you know, take up that responsibility. What do you think needs to be put in place? What should be done to ensure that INEC is able to, you know, carry out diaspora voting?
Currently, I think there's a bill in the House of in the National Assembly. I think it's gone through the first reading and the second reading, and it's still being reviewed. And there's a constitutional amendment going on in Nigeria, which we are all aware of. This should form part of that amendment. I understand the electoral laws have some limitations that prevent voting from outside Nigeria, because you have to vote from where you are registered. So those little amendments should be changed. What we need, or what INEC needs, is just the enabling grounds. Then they can bring out a bespoke way of enforcing diaspora voting. And it all lies in the table of the National Assembly for them to give those powers to INEC. So it's just about changing the laws.
How about structures? Would there be any structures that need to be put in place to ensure that happens?
Be it physical or otherwise.
Yeah, we decided not to talk much about structure, because we understand that countries like Chad do vote in Nigeria. Other countries around, smaller countries, they vote. The diasporans do vote. So we want to allow INEC to bring a bespoke, a Nigerian way of doing things. INEC has been successful in what they are doing. They've assisted other countries in organizing their elections, both outside Nigeria and in Nigeria. So I think they can also come up with a framework that will enable Nigerians in diaspora to vote. We have our embassies in abroad, in several countries. We can also attend our embassies and vote. And as I understand that the embassies abroad are, the territory of the embassy appears to be on Nigerian soil. So even while we're in the embassy, we can vote from there. We have our passports that can identify us as Nigerians. We have our BVN. We have now our NIN. So all of these are data sources that can permit us to vote. We should start to vote, and the data is there. And I think INEC has assured us that they can do that. It's just need the enabling law for them to be able to do that.
Okay, so far, I think studies have shown that we have about 17 million Nigerians in diaspora currently. So where does the organization step in to ensure that this inclusion and participation is possible, especially in the coming elections?
Yeah, it's true that we estimate 17 million Nigerians. The majority of them might be in the neighboring African countries of Cameroon, and then you have the US and the United Kingdom, where we estimate about 2 million Nigerians living there. What is important to us is that it's not all the 17 million Nigerians that are estimated that will be able to vote. We are talking about Nigerians that are legitimately living in these countries that have a proven address. So what we are going to do is to start from somewhere. In Nigeria currently, we always have less than 50% turnout. So let's say we're going to have in 2023 20 or 25% turnout of diasporans. It will be a starting point. Let's start, and then we can see how it goes. And I believe by the next election in 2027, diasporans should be voting in their masses. But let the enabling laws be in place to permit INEC to do that voting for diasporans. We are happy to do that. The few of us that can start will start, and then it will progress from there.
But personally, I want to ask, why is it important that Nigerians living in diaspora are part of the election process? Why?
If Nigerians at home can have that rights, then it's our rights, so we should also have it. So the importance or no importance, the fact is it's our right as Nigerians to be able to vote and be voted for. So that right should not be denied from us. But essentially, we live in countries that have seen the rule of law. We live in countries that have seen things work. We live in countries that have 24 hours electricity. We live in countries that everybody is held accountable when they do things wrong, even the president or the prime minister. So once the Nigerians in diaspora that have experienced good governance start to vote, I think things will begin to change in Nigeria, because you see our trend, and we will participate with free and fair election without fear. We cannot be bribed or given some naira to change our mind. We will trust Nigerians in diaspora to make the right choices based on the manifesto of the candidates. So it's essential for us to vote and contribute to the good governance of Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much for joining us on the conversation this morning.
Thank you very much.
Such a pleasure to have you. And thank you to our viewers for sticking with us till this time on the conversation. That's it for the conversation today. But don't forget to join us on the show again tomorrow at same time. But before then, follow TOS TV Network across all social media platforms. That's TOS TV Network on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course subscribe on YouTube as well, so you do not miss out on our amazing content. You can also stream the conversation and other programs on www.tostvnetwork.com. My name is Adesua Osui.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow.